They came without warning. No message, no history, just ships full of humans. The galaxy had never seen them before. And no one could explain how they got there. It started with a signal, faint, strange, and unlike anything the Empire's scanners had ever picked up. Captain Varric was the first to see them. He stood on the bridge of the Imperial Watcher, his eyes locked on the dark void beyond the viewing window. His crew was silent as 5 massive ships appeared on radar. No ID, no frequency. Just there. "Run an identity scan," he ordered. The officer tapped at the console. "No match, sir. They don't exist." Varric frowned. "Send a hail." A long silence followed. Then the officer shook his head. No response. He turned to his second-in-command, Commander Laura. "What do you think?" She crossed her arms. "Either they're deaf, or they don't want to talk." The ships were huge, sleek, silver, and shaped like blades slicing through space. There was no flag, no symbol, no sign of origin. Just silence, then the alert lights flashed red. "They're moving." Someone shouted. The 5 ships split apart, each heading toward a different sector of the outer rim. Not fast, not aggressive, but deliberate. "Track them," Varric said. "Let me know if they fire." They didn't fire. They didn't even slow down. By morning, every major system near the edge of the Empire had spotted them, ships appearing out of nowhere. No communication, no movement that suggested attack. Just watching. The Emperor himself called for a meeting. Scientists, military leaders, historians, all gathered in the war room beneath the capital planet. The question was simple: who are they? "No records," said Dr. Tala, the chief historian. "No species matches their biology. No language matches their signals." General Kor slammed his fist on the table. "They're invaders. We should strike first." Tala shook her head. "We don't even know what they are. For all we know, they could be refugees." Kor glared at her. "Refugees don't show up with warships." Back on the Imperial Watcher, Varric watched the lead ship hover just outside Sector 9. It hadn't moved in hours, still silent. Still unmoving. Then something changed. A voice crackled over the comms. It wasn't clear, it wasn't loud, but it was there. "Human fleet, requesting passage." Everyone froze. Laura leaned forward. "Did they just speak?" Varric nodded slowly. "Translate it." The linguist worked quickly. "It says, 'Human fleet requesting passage.'" "That's all." "Human?" someone asked. "Like Earth humans?" But Earth had been destroyed centuries ago, its people lost. Forgotten, and yet here they were. "Who are you?" Varric asked into the mic. "Where did you come from?" Silence again. Then another message. "We return." That was it. 2 words. Then silence once more. The Empire went into chaos. Some thought it was a trick. Others believed it was a miracle. But no one had answers. 2 days later, the lead ship opened its bay. Not an aggression. An invitation. Commander Laura volunteered to go inside. "You can't be serious," Varric said. "I have to know," she replied. The shuttle docked silently. She stepped inside alone, guarded only by a small pistol and a recording device. Inside, everything was clean, bright, empty. Then a voice behind her. "You finally found us." She spun around. A man stood there. Tall, wearing a suit of smooth metal. His face was calm, his eyes sharp. "Who are you?" she asked. He smiled slightly. "We are who you forgot." "What does that mean?" He walked past her, looking out the window at the stars. "We left long ago. When Earth fell, we escaped, we survived, and now we've returned." She stared at him. "You're human?" His smile faded. "We are what remains." She swallowed hard. "Why are you here?" He looked at her. "To see if you remember." Before she could ask more, the lights flickered. A warning tone echoed through the ship. He turned sharply. "They found us." "Who did?" He ran toward the control panel. "The ones who made sure we stayed gone." Then the ship shook. An explosion lit up the view outside. Fighters, Imperial fighters, firing on the human ship. "No!" Laura shouted. "They're not attacking!" But it was too late. The human ship reacted instantly. Shields rose. Weapons powered up. And within seconds, 2 fighter squadrons were gone. Varric watched in horror from the Imperial Watcher. "Call them off!" He yelled, "Now!" But it was already over. The human ship vanished in a flash of light. Gone, only silence remained. Laura returned minutes later, shaken. They didn't want to fight, she whispered. They just wanted to be seen. Virik looked at the empty space where the ship had been. Then why hide for so long? She met his eyes. Maybe they weren't hiding. Then what? She took a deep breath. Maybe they were waiting. Waiting for what? No one knew, but the truth was out now. The humans were back, and no one knew what would happen next. The Empire tried to stop them. Big mistake. In just 90 seconds, a whole battle group was gone. No survivors. No mercy. Commander Laura had barely returned from the mysterious human ship when all hell broke loose. Imperial Command wasn't listening to warnings or questions. They saw the unknown fleet as a threat. And threats were meant to be destroyed. So they sent in the Vanguard fleet, 12 warships, heavily armed, filled with elite pilots and soldiers. Captain Virik watched from the Imperial Watcher as the order came down, engage and eliminate. He turned to Laura. You told them they didn't want to fight. She shook her head. They don't, but if we attack, they'll show us what real power looks like. He looked at the screen. The Vanguard fleet was already moving into position. Then it happened, a flash, just one, and then silence on the comms, nothing, no calls, no reports. No voices. Only static. Virik stared at the radar. 12 ships? Gone. Just gone. What the hell happened? Someone whispered. Laura stood frozen. Her voice was quiet but sure. They didn't fire a single shot. Everyone turned to her. What do you mean? Virik asked. They didn't need to, she said. They erased them. Like they were never there. Back on the capital planet, panic spread like fire. General Kor slammed his fist on the table. This is an act of war. Dr. Tala shook her head. No, it's a warning. Kor growled. We have to strike back. No, Tala said firmly. If we go after them again, we won't just lose ships. We'll lose entire systems. But Kor wasn't listening. He gave the order, send in the Stormbreakers, the Empire's most powerful dreadnoughts. 3 massive ships, designed for war. Fueled by rage. They left within the hour. Back in space, Captain Virik watched the new fleet move toward the human ships. Laura stood beside him. Sir, call them back. I can't, he said. Orders are orders. The Stormbreakers approached slowly, weapons powered up, ready to fire. Then the lead human ship moved, not forward, not backward. Just shifted, like it stepped through reality itself. Suddenly, all 3 dreadnoughts went dark. No signal, no life signs. No wreckage. Gone. Again. Virek felt cold. His voice cracked. Tell me that didn't just happen. An officer checked the scans. They're not here anymore. Laura closed her eyes. They weren't showing off. They were giving us a chance. Virik looked at her. A chance for what? To understand. Across the galaxy, news spread like wildfire. The Empire had attacked and lost. Twice. People were scared. Some called for peace. Others demanded revenge. In the war room, chaos ruled. Emperor Dane sat silent, his face pale. Finally, he spoke. We are not dealing with enemies, he said. We are dealing with something far beyond us. Kor refused to believe it. They're just humans. We can beat them. Tala looked at him. With what? Our best ships are gone. Our bravest soldiers vanished. What do you think will happen next time? Kor had no answer, back on the Imperial. Watcher Virik stared at the human fleet still floating in silence. Laura joined him. They're waiting, she said. For what? She thought for a moment. Maybe for us to stop trying to kill them. Virik sighed. What if we try talking again? She nodded. That might be the only thing left. So a message was sent. Simple, clear. We wish to speak. No weapons. No lies, only truth. It floated across the void. Seconds passed. Minutes. Then, finally, a reply. We are listening. Laura smiled slightly. Maybe this is where it begins. Virik looked at her. Where what begins? The real story. They were unstoppable, untouchable, until one man found a secret that could change everything. And someone wants him dead. Dr. Wren was not a hero. He was a scientist, quiet, curious, and always asking questions no one else wanted answered. He Worked in the Empire's deep archives, a place few ever visited. Dusty records, old files, forgotten wars, but one file caught his eye. It wasn't labeled. No date, no source. Just a single line on the screen. Subject, Human Fleet, Origins Unknown. Ren frowned. That name, Human Fleet, had only just come back into the galaxy's memory. And yet this file was ancient. He opened it. What he saw made his hands shake. Images, data, a name, project. Exodus. The report said humans hadn't just returned, they had never left. Ren read faster. Earth did not die, the file said. Its people were taken. Taken by whom? That part was blacked out, but there was more. Survivors hidden, memory wiped. Ships launched in secret. Ren stared at the screen. These weren't invaders, they were escapees. And someone didn't want anyone to know. Suddenly, the lights in the archive flickered, then went out. A cold voice came through the coms. You shouldn't have seen that. Before Ren could react, alarms blared. His console shut down. He tried to copy the file. Nothing worked. Then he heard footsteps, heavy, fast, coming. Toward him, he grabbed his data chip and ran, through dark halls, past empty labs, out into the city. He didn't stop until he reached Commander Laura's office. She looked up as he burst in, out of breath. What the hell happened? She asked. They're hiding something, Ren said. Something huge. Laura stood. Tell me what you found. He placed the chip on her desk. I think the Empire knew about them all along. Her eyes widened. What? This wasn't the first time they appeared. It was just the first time we remembered. Laura played the file. As the truth unfolded, her face turned pale. This changes everything, she whispered. Outside, the sky was clear. But inside, a storm was coming, because someone already knew Ren had found the truth and they were watching. Later that night, Ren sat alone in his apartment, staring at the stars. Then came a knock. He froze. No one should have known where he lived. He moved slowly to the door. Another knock. Louder. He opened it. Darkness. Then pain. Lights went out. Morning came, and Dr. Ren was gone. No sign of struggle. No message. Just silence. Captain Virik got the news fast. He stormed into Laura's office. Where is he? He demanded. She shook her head. Gone. Taken. Virik cursed it under his breath. Who would do this? Laura looked at him. Someone who didn't want the truth to get out. He sat down. We need to find him. We might be too late, she said quietly. Then, suddenly, her comms buzzed. An unknown signal. She clicked it. A voice came through. Weak, scared. Laura, it's Ren. They took me. But I'm still alive, she gasped. Ren, where are you? Static. Then. One final whisper. They're not just hiding the past. They're planning the future. Then the signal cut. Silence again. Virik looked at Laura. This isn't over, he said. No, she replied. It's just beginning. And somewhere far away in a hidden lab beneath a forgotten moon, Dr. Ren opened his eyes, locked in a cell. With others. Humans. Not like the ones in the fleet, but like him, like they had been. All along, the scientist discovers the humans are not from another world, but from the past. Time travelers? Escaped prisoners? The truth changes how the galaxy sees itself. Dr. Ren blinked in the dim light of his cell. His head hurt. His body ached, but his mind was racing. He wasn't alone. Around him sat others. Men, women, even children. All human, all confused. Some scared, a few angry. One man stepped forward. He looked older, tired, but his eyes were sharp. You're not one of us? The man said. Ren shook his head. No, I'm a scientist. I found something. Something they didn't want me to see. The older man nodded slowly. Then you already know part of the truth. Ren leaned closer. I read a file. It said Earth didn't die. That people were taken, hidden, forgotten. The man smiled faintly. You're close, but not quite there yet. Before Ren could ask more, the heavy door groaned open. A figure entered, tall, dressed in dark armor, face hidden. Dr. Ren, the figure said. Coldly, you've been asking the wrong questions. Ren stood. I want answers. The figure gestured. Two guards grabbed Ren and dragged him down a long corridor. They stopped at a large metal door. Inside was a lab full of screens, data streams, and strange machines. A woman stood waiting. She wore a white coat. Her voice was calm. My name is Dr. Myra Vex. I work for the Empire, or I used to. Ren frowned. What is this place? She pointed at a screen behind her. This, she said, is where history was erased. Ren looked at the screen. It showed Earth, but not the Earth he knew. This Earth was alive, green, full of cities, people. Then the date flashed on the screen. Year 2179. His eyes widened. That's impossible. Earth fell centuries ago. Dr. Vex nodded. Yes, and that's the lie we all believed. She pressed a button. Images played scientists in labs, soldiers in suits, ships launching into space. Then came the words, Project Exodus, final phase. Ren whispered. What is this? Vex turned to him. We didn't come from another world. We came from another time. Silence? What? Ren finally said. She explained. In the final days of Earth, a secret group launched an escape plan. Not to another planet, but to another era? They built time-jump ships, she said, jumped forward in time, hid themselves, wiped their own memory, left no trace. Ren stared. So, the humans in the fleet, they're from our past? Yes, Vex said. And someone didn't want them remembered. Ren took a deep breath. Who? She looked away. The same people who told you Earth was gone. The Empire. She nodded. They erased the truth. Buried it. Created a new history. Ren felt dizzy. Why? To control everything that came after? Outside, alarms suddenly blared, footsteps, shouting, then a voiceover comes. Prisoners escaping. Lock down the facility. Vex's eyes lit up. Looks like someone else wants the truth out. Suddenly, the door burst open. Commander Laura and Captain Vierick stormed in, weapons raised. Laura saw Ren. There you are. He stared at her. You have to hear this. Vex stepped forward. Tell them what we found. Ren looked at Laura and Vierick. They're not invaders, he said. They're us, Laura frowned. What do you mean? They came from our past. They escaped Earth before it fell. The Empire made them disappear. Vierick looked stunned. So, the human fleet, they're not just humans. No, Ren said. They're the ones we forgot? Behind them, the lights flickered. Somewhere deep inside the base, a machine powered up. The voice echoed through the halls. Time lock releasing. Memory restoration beginning. Ren looked at Vex. What does that mean? She smiled. It means the truth isn't hiding anymore. And somewhere far away, aboard the lead ship of the human fleet, a man opened his eyes. Memories flooding back. Earth, families, names. He gasped. I remember. And across the fleet, the same thing happened. One by one, the humans woke up. To who they really were. The humans weren't just hiding who they were. They were hiding what they were carrying, a weapon, a message, or a warning. Captain Vierick stood on the Imperial Watcher, staring at the data stream from Dr. Ren's report. His hands trembled. Commander. Laura stepped beside him. What does it say? He looked up slowly. They didn't come back just to remember who they were. She frowned. Then why? Vierick handed her the tablet. Final log. Captain Iran Vale Human Fleet. Mission. Objective. Deliver the archive. If found. Do not open without understanding. Laura read it again. The archive? Vierick nodded. It's not just a record. It's something else. Back on the surface, Dr. Ren and Dr. Myra Vex pored over old files recovered from the hidden lab. Ren tapped the screen. Here, look at this. Vex leaned closer. The file showed schematics of the human ships. Not weapons. Not engines. Something deeper. This isn't just transport, Vex whispered. It's storage. Ren's eyes widened. Storage for what? Before she could answer, alarms blared. A new signal had been picked up. From deep space. Not from the human fleet. From something behind them. A voice came through comms. This is Commander. Core, we have visual on an unknown object. It was hidden behind the fleet. Vierick stared at the screen. There it was, a massive structure. Dark, silent, drifting. No One had seen it before, because it wasn't part of the fleet. It had been following them. Laura turned to Virik. What is that? Virik shook his head. I don't know, but I think we're about to find out. Suddenly, the human fleet moved, not toward the Empire, toward the object. As if they finally knew where they were going, on board the lead ship, Captain Iran. Vale stood in the command chamber. His memories were back. Earth, the fall, the escape, but now he remembered more. The real mission. He turned to his crew. It's time, he said. We return the past to the present. One of the officers looked confused. You mean peace talks? Iran shook his head. No, we deliver the truth. He pointed at the dark object ahead. That is not a ship. It is a vault. A pause. A vault for what? Someone asked. He took a deep breath. For everything Earth lost. Back on the Imperial Watcher, Virik watched as the human fleet formed a perfect circle around the object. Then lights. Flash. Energy surged. And the object began to open, like a door unlocking after centuries of silence. Dr. Wren's voice came through. Comes, Captain, we just decrypted another file. You need to hear this. A recording played. An old voice, weak, tired. If you're hearing this, then we failed. The archive contains all knowledge of Earth. Our history, our science, our warnings, but it also holds the key to what destroyed us. Silence. Virik looked at Laura. What destroyed them? She whispered, maybe we're about to see. Inside the vault, systems powered up. A screen lit up. Words appeared. Archive unlocking. Warning. Containment breach possible. Iran stared at the words. Then a voice echoed through the chamber. Containment status. Lost. Everyone froze. One of the officers whispered, Containment of what? Iran closed his eyes. Of the last thing we left behind. Outside, the Imperial Watcher picked up a strange energy spike. Lights flickered. Sensors went wild. Then a message came from the human fleet. We warned you. This was never about war. Virik looked at Laura. What was it about? She stared into space. It was about making sure the past doesn't repeat itself. Then the archive pulsed. A shockwave rolled across space. And somewhere deep inside, something stirred. Something ancient. Something dangerous. And it was waking up. A single message changed everything. It sounded peaceful, but it triggered panic across the galaxy. The shockwave from the archive had passed. Silence followed. Then came the signal, not from the human fleet, from something deeper in space. A voice, calm, clear, and filled with meaning. 2. All who listen, we have returned, not as enemies, not as conquerors, but as the past come to warn the future. Captain Virik stood on the Imperial Watcher, staring at the screen. Commander Laura stood beside him. That was broadcast everywhere. She said, Every system, every planet. Virik nodded slowly. They're not hiding anymore. Back on the capital world, chaos spread like fire. Emperor Dane sat in the war room, his face pale. General Kor slammed his fist on the table. This is an act of war. Dr. Tala shook her head. No, it's the opposite. They're trying to stop one. Kor glared at her. You think a message changes anything? They erased our ships, wiped out our fleets, and now they want peace? Tala looked at him. Maybe they just want to be heard. On board the lead ship of the human fleet, Captain Iran Vale watched the reactions pouring in from across the galaxy. His second in command, Commander Sira, stepped beside him. They're scared, she said. Iran nodded. Good. Fear means they're listening. Sira frowned. What if they attack again? He turned to her. Then we show them what's inside the archive. She took a breath. You mean, yes, he interrupted. It's time. Back. On the Imperial Watcher, Virik got a new message. Human fleet requesting open channel. Priority level. Highest. Laura looked at him. Let them speak. Virik gave the order. The screen flickered, and then Captain Iran appeared. His voice was calm, but full of weight. We do not come for war. We come with knowledge. Knowledge that can save you. Or destroy you. Virik leaned forward. What kind of knowledge? Iran met his eyes. Knowledge of how Earth really fell. Silence filled the bridge. Then Iran continued. Your empire told you it was natural collapse, climate failure. Resource wars. But that's not true, Laura whispered. Then what happened? Iran's voice dropped. Earth was destroyed by us. Everyone on the Imperial Watcher froze. Virik stared. What? Iran went on. We thought we were building a better world, more power, more control. We created something we couldn't stop. He paused. Something still exists. Hidden, waiting. Laura felt cold. You mean it survived? Iran nodded. Yes, and now it knows we're back. Suddenly, alarms blared. Sir! An officer shouted. We're picking up movement near the archive. They turned to the screen. Dark shapes began to rise from within the structure. Not machines. Not ships. Something else. Dr. Wren's voice came through coms. Captain! I've been analyzing the data. That thing isn't just a vault. It was a prison. Virik's blood ran cold. A prison for what? Wren's voice was barely above a whisper. For the last weapon Earth ever made. Across the galaxy, other systems picked up the same readings. Planets once thought safe now showed signs of strange energy. Cities reported power failures, and deep in space, the dark forms from the archive began to move toward the stars, toward the Empire, toward everything. Captain. Iran spoke again. This is why we left. This is why we hid. We tried to bury the truth, but now it's awake. Laura looked at Virik. What do we do? He didn't answer, because for the first time in his life, he didn't know, and somewhere far away in the cold silence of space, the darkness moved, faster now. Hungrier. And the galaxy had no idea what was coming. It turns out the humans didn't just arrive randomly. They had been watching, waiting, planning every move. Captain. Virik stared at the screen. Dark shapes were moving, fast and silent, toward the Empire's outer systems. Commander. Laura stood beside him. They said they were hiding, she said quietly. But maybe they were preparing. Back on the lead ship of the human fleet, Captain Iran Vale paced the command deck. Commander Sira watched him carefully. You knew this would happen, she said. Didn't you? Iran stopped. Yes, she stepped forward. Then why come back? Why now? He looked at her. Because it was time. Sira shook her head. Time for what? To finish what we started. Meanwhile, Dr. Wren and Dr. Maravex worked quickly in the hidden lab, going through old files from the archive. Wren tapped the screen. This is incredible. They weren't just hiding in time. Vex looked up. What do you mean? He pointed at a line in the data. Operation. Silent return. Final phase. Trigger event set. Vex whispered. They planned all of this. Back on the Imperial Watcher, Virik got a message from Emperor Dane. We need answers. Now. Virik turned to Laura. Let's go. Minutes later, they stood in the war room. General Kor was already there, pacing. This is not peace, he growled. This is an invasion, Dr. Tala sat calmly. No, it's more like a confession. Kor turned to her. Explain. Tala pulled up a file. This wasn't the first time the human fleet appeared, she said. They've been here before. Just, unnoticed. She played a recording. Old footage. Fuzzy images, a fleet appearing near a mining colony. No attack, no contact. Just observation. Then another and another, over decades, all ignored, buried, forgotten. Laura looked at the screen. They were watching us. Virik frowned. Why? Tala answered. Because they were waiting for something. Back aboard the human ship, Iran stood alone in his quarters. He opened a small box. Inside was a worn photo. A woman, 2 children. His family. Long gone, he whispered. I promised I'd protect you. Then he closed the box and walked back to the command deck. Sira met him there. You're going to tell them everything, aren't you? He nodded. Yes, but not because I trust them. She raised an eyebrow. Then why? Because if they don't understand who we are, they won't survive what's coming. Outside, the dark shapes grew closer across the galaxy. Reports came in, strange energy storms, lost ships, people disappearing without a trace. The darkness was spreading. On board the Imperial Watcher, alarms blared. Sir! An officer shouted. We're picking up a signal from the human fleet. Virik looked up. Open channel. The screen lit up. Captain Iran appeared. His voice was calm, but firm. We didn't come to fight you, we came to stop it. Virik frowned. Stop what? Iran's eyes darkened. The last weapon Earth ever made. We called it the Hunger. Now it's awake. Silence filled the room. Then Iran continued. We left to hide the truth. We returned to warn you. But if you still see us as enemies, you'll never survive the real one. The screen went dark. Laura turned to Virik. We have to believe them. He looked at her. Even if they planned all of this? She nodded. Even then. Outside, the stars shimmered, but something else was coming. Something older than war. Something hungrier than fear. And the humans had seen it before. Now, the Empire was about to learn the truth. Not about them, but about what followed. The last surviving Empire officer uncovers the final reason the humans came back. The answer could save or destroy the galaxy. Captain Virik sat alone in his quarters aboard the Imperial Watcher, staring at the message from Captain Iran. We left to hide the truth. We returned to warn you, but if you still see us as enemies, you'll never survive the real one. He read it again. And again, then he stood. I need answers, he muttered. Commander Laura found him on the bridge. You look like you haven't slept, she said. I don't think I can, he replied. Not until we know everything. She handed him a data chip. This might help. He looked at it. What is it? A file Dr. Wren recovered before he disappeared, she said. It's labeled Project Exodus, Final Directive. Virik took the chip and inserted it into the console. The screen flickered. A voice began. If you're hearing this, then time has run out. This is not just a message. It is a warning and a plan. The voice belonged to someone old, tired, but familiar. Dr. Myra Vex. Virik and Laura exchanged glances. The recording continued. You think the human fleet came back for peace. Or revenge, but that's not why they returned. Laura frowned. Failed at what? The voice answered her question. Stopping the hunger. Virik closed his eyes. He remembered the name, the last weapon Earth ever made. Now it was awake. And moving. Back on the hidden research station. Deep inside enemy space, Dr. Wren sat in a cold metal room. He wasn't alone. Across from him sat a man in a dark uniform, General Kor. Wren stared at him. You had me taken. Kor didn't deny it. I needed to know the truth. Wren leaned forward. Then let me tell you. He tapped a small device. A hologram appeared. Images of Earth, fires, ruins, people screaming. Then came the words. Final log Project X date unknown subject, the hunger status. Uncontained core watched silently. Wren spoke. It wasn't a bomb, not a machine, not even alive. In the way we understand? He paused. It was an idea. A virus, a hunger that feeds on fear, on war, on destruction. Core looked up. How do we stop it? Wren shook his head. We don't. We only delay it. Back aboard the Imperial Watcher, Virik and Laura watched more of Dr. Vex's message. She looked directly into the camera. There is only one thing strong enough to contain the hunger. Memory. Virik frowned. Memory? Laura whispered. They erased themselves so no one would repeat their mistakes. Virik turned to her. So by remembering, we bring it closer. She nodded slowly. Yes, on board the lead ship of the human fleet. Captain Iran stood in the command chamber. Syrah stepped beside him. They're starting to understand. Iran didn't look at her. That's the dangerous part, she asked. Why? He finally met her eyes. Because now they have a choice. She frowned. What choice? To remember or to forget. Outside, the stars shimmered, but something else was coming. Fast. Dark shapes moved through space like shadows. Not ships. Not people. Something older, something hungrier, and the galaxy was about to learn the final truth. Not about the humans. Not about the Empire, but about itself, and whether it was ready to face what came next. With the Empire gone and chaos spreading, the human leaders must decide whether to take control. Or walk away again. Captain Virik stood on the shattered bridge of the Imperial Watcher, staring at the ruins of what used to be the Empire's. Central Command. Smoke rose from broken consoles. Officers lay wounded. Some didn't move at all. The attack had come fast, too fast. General Kor was gone. The Emperor was missing. The capital planet was under emergency lockdown. And across the galaxy, systems were falling silent. One by one, Commander Laura walked up beside him. "We lost contact with Sector 4, she said. "No survivors," Virik nodded slowly. "It's spreading." Laura looked at him. "We need to make a choice," he turned to her. "About what? Do we fight, or do we ask for help?" Before he could answer, the comms buzzed. "This is Captain Iran of the human fleet. We are ready to assist, but you must decide. Will you accept us as allies or as rulers?" Laura stared at the screen. "They're offering help," Virik frowned. "Or control." Back aboard the lead ship of the human fleet, Captain Iran watched the response feed. Ciro stood beside him. "They're scared." He nodded. "Good. Fear means they're thinking." She crossed her arms. "What happens if they say no?" He looked at her. "Then they die," she blinked. "That's harsh." "It's honest," he replied. "We've seen this before. Without order, without leadership, the hunger spreads until nothing is left," she whispered. "You sound like them." He met her eyes. "I won't become them. But I won't let history repeat itself either." On board a hidden rebel base, Dr. Wren and Dr. Mera Vex worked quickly. Wren tapped at the console. "We have a signal from the human fleet." Vex looked up. "What does it say?" He read it aloud. "The Empire is gone. The enemy is coming. We offer peace." "Or power. Choose. Double quotes." Vex frowned. "They're not just offering help. They're offering control." Wren shook his head. "That's how it starts." She looked at him. "Starts what? The cycle? One group rises, another falls. Then someone new takes over," she whispered. "History repeating." Back on the Imperial Watcher, Virik made his decision. He opened a channel to Captain Iran. "This is Captain Virik of the Imperial Watcher. We accept your help, but not your rule." There was silence. Then Iran's voice came through. "Understood. But know this. We are not here to conquer. We are here to protect. If you choose war again, you will lose." The channel cut. Laura looked at Virik. "Do you believe them?" He sighed. "I don't know. But right now, we don't have a choice." Outside, the stars flickered. Human ships moved into position around. Key systems. Not invading. Watching. Protecting. But some saw it differently. Across the galaxy, rumors spread. Some called the human saviors, others called them tyrants, and deep in space, something else watched. Waiting. Feeding. The hunger wasn't gone. It had only begun, and the final choice had yet to be made. Just when we thought it was over, a new signal appears. Same ships, same silence, but this time, we know who they are. The galaxy was quiet, but not peaceful. The Empire had fallen. The human fleet had taken no throne. No land, only position. They watched from the stars like silent guardians. Some called it protection, others called it control. Captain Virik stood on what remained of the Imperial Watcher, looking at the data stream. Commander Laura stepped beside him. "You look tired," she said. "I haven't slept." "Since the attack," he replied. She pointed at the screen. "You need to see this." He turned. A new signal had appeared. Far beyond known space. Same frequency. Same silence. Same ships. Virik whispered, "No." Laura frowned. "What is it?" He looked at her. "Another fleet?" "Back aboard the lead ship of the human fleet, Captain." Iran sat alone in his quarters. His memories were clear. Now. Earth. The fall. The escape. The warning. But something still felt incomplete. Commander Sierra entered. "We just picked up a signal," she said. "It's not from the Empire or the rebels." Iran looked up. "Then who?" She hesitated. "Them." He stood slowly. "Show me." On the command deck, the image came into view. A second fleet, identical to theirs. Silent. Watching. Not moving. Forward. Not moving. Back. Dr. Wren and Dr. Mera Vex watched from a hidden rebel base. Wren whispered, "This changes everything." Vex looked at him. "What do you mean?" He pointed at the screen. "They weren't the first." Vex's eyes widened. "You think there are more?" He nodded. "And if they're here? Then maybe history didn't start with Earth." Back on the Imperial Watcher, Virik opened a channel to Captain Iran. "This is Virik. We have a problem." Iran's voice came through calmly. "We already know." Virik frowned. "Then tell me, who are they?" There was a long pause. Then Iran answered, "They are what came before us." Laura stared at the screen. "You mean humans weren't the first to leave Earth?" Iran's voice was quiet. "No, we were the last." Back on the human ship, Syrah looked at Iran. "What do we do?" she asked. He looked out at the stars. "They've been watching us," he said. "Now it's our turn." Meanwhile, the second fleet made its move, not toward the human fleet, toward the remains of the Empire, toward the hunger. Dr. Wren watched the readings. "They're scanning for something," he said. Vex asked, "What?" He looked up. "The same thing we tried to destroy." Outside, the stars shimmered, but something else was happening, the dark energy that had spread across. The galaxy began to shift, like it recognized something or someone back on the human fleets. Lead ship Captain Iran stood tall. "Send them a message," he said. Syrah typed, "To the unknown fleet, we are the last of Earth. We return to warn, not to fight. Do you come in peace, or in memory?" Silence followed, then a reply. Short. Simple. Old. "We remember." And in that moment, the stars changed. Something ancient stirred, something forgotten returned, and somewhere far away, a voice whispered, "History begins again."